My name is Kumar Sarawgi. I am Assistant Professor of Department of Management and Social Science, Haldia Institute of Technology. I am going to give you a video lecture on the topic residential status, that is chapter 2 of income tax. So now, in order to become resident in India, an individual have to satisfy either of the two basic conditions which is laid down in section 6 subsection 1. The first basic condition is stay in India for 182 days or more in the relevant previous year. Or the second basic condition is that stay in India for 60 days or more in the relevant previous year and 365 days or more in the past 4 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Now, if any individual satisfies either of the any two conditions, he will become resident in India. Now, one thing that we have to know during this regarding this uh, law, that if any person leaving India in a particular day and coming back to India in a particular day, these 2 days will be counted as stay in India for that person. So now after becoming resident in India, we have to check two additional conditions which is laid down in section 6 subsection 6, which is 1 and 2. If a person satisfy both the additional two conditions, then he will become resident and ordinary resident. If any person who is resident in India did not satisfy any of the one conditions of both the additional conditions, he will become resident and not ordinarily resident. Again, I am saying this thing. If a person who is resident in India, that means he satisfy either of the two conditions, then we have to check these two additional conditions. If a person who is resident in India and satisfy both the conditions, he have to satisfy both the conditions, then he will become resident and ordinarily resident. If he does not satisfy any of the conditions, then he will become resident and not ordinary resident. Understand? So now what are the two additional conditions? First additional condition is that resident for 2 previous years or more in last 10 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. If an individual who is resident, he have to satisfy first additional condition, that is he have to be resident in 2 previous years in last 10 previous years immediately preceding the current previous year or relevant previous year. And the second additional condition is that stay in India for 730 days or more in last 7 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. That means he have to stay 730 days in 7 previous years, which is immediately preceding the current previous year. If a resident satisfy both the conditions, then he will become resident and ordinarily resident. Now we have to see some exceptions to this rule. That means what is exception? In these four conditions, we will, or sorry, if in the first three conditions, these three conditions, we will not check second basic condition. We will eliminate second basic condition. We will only consider 182 days or more. If a person stays 182 days or more in India, then he will become resident, otherwise non-resident. So what are the three exceptions? First exception is that Indian citizen leaving India during the previous year for an employment outside India. That means a person who is Indian citizen and he is leaving India for a employment purpose during the previous year. Then we will not see the second basic condition. We will consider only the first basic condition. If he satisfies first basic condition, then he will become resident. Otherwise, he will not be resident. Second exception. Indian citizen being a crew member of Indian ship leaving India during the previous year. If an Indian citizen leaving India being a crew member of an Indian ship, then he will become resident if only he satisfies the first basic condition. We will not see the second basic condition. And now the third exception. What is the third exception? Indian citizen or person of Indian origin engaged outside India in any employment or a business or profession and visiting India during the previous year, and his total income excluding income from foreign sources is up to rupees 15 lakh in the previous year. Suppose, what is the third thing? Third exception, we will break down it. Suppose a person who is Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. So who is person of Indian origin? Person of Indian origin means he or either his parents or either his grandparents born in undivided India. That means either he or his parents or his grandparents born in undivided India. What is undivided India? The India before 1947. So now, so either he is Indian citizen or person of Indian origin, engaged outside India in any employment or a business or profession. Suppose some people now settled in Dubai, some people are settled in America, Canada, Australia for their employment purpose or for their business purpose, profession purpose. Now, what is this? They are visiting India for some period. So now, if their total income, which is excluding foreign income. So now what is total income excluding foreign income? That means the total Indian income is up to 15 lakh during the previous year. Then we will not see the second basic condition. We will only consider first basic condition for that person. Okay. Now, if now the fourth exception. In the fourth exception, in case of Indian citizen or person of Indian origin engaged outside India in any employment or a business or profession and visiting India during the previous year, and his total income excluding income from foreign sources is more than 15 lakh. That is, it is same as third exception, but one thing is different. What is this different? That is, the total income is more than 15 lakh during the previous year. Then we will consider second basic condition. It is not that we will not consider second basic condition, but the days will be counted as 120 days instead of 60 days. What is here? We have to consider 120 days instead of 60 days. 182 days 6 is prevailed, and the second basic condition will be like this. Understand? Now, deemed resident. What is deemed resident? As per section 6 subsection 1a, in case of an Indian citizen having total income other than foreign sources income exceeding rupees 15 lakhs during the previous year shall be deemed to be resident in India in that previous year if he is not liable to pay tax in any other country or territory by reason of his domicile or residence or may other criteria of similar nature, and he is always treated as resident and not ordinarily resident. What is this? We will break down. First thing, that he is an Indian citizen and he is settled in a foreign country. Suppose there are many tax haven countries, just like Dubai. There is no tax in Dubai. So someone is settled in Dubai and he is earning income in the Dubai, and he has not to pay any tax in Dubai. And he has income in India which is exceeding rupees 15 lakh. So he will be treated as deemed resident as per section 6 subsection 1a, and he will be always treated as resident and not ordinarily resident, and he have to pay tax in India. Now, what is the reason for measuring residential status of a person. So section 5 gives us incidence of tax. So here ROR means resident and ordinary resident. RNOR means resident and not ordinary resident. And NR means non-resident. Understand? So now there are two types of income prevail. Income which accrues or arise in India. That means the income which accrues or arise in India. If an income which is accrue or arise in India, that is called Indian income. Now, for Indian income, ROR, RNOR, NR, every category of person, every category of individual have to pay tax. Understand? Now, second category of income, that is foreign income. What is foreign income? Income which accrues or arise outside India. Now, for foreign income, ROR have to pay tax. RNOR have not to pay tax, but there is a note. We will see the note. And NR need not to pay tax. Non-resident persons need not to pay tax on foreign income. ROR, that means resident and ordinary resident, those who they have to pay their foreign income tax in India. And RNOR, they need not to pay tax, but there is a special. So we'll see the note. What is this? So the note is following two foreign income is taxable in the hands of RNOR. That means there are two types of income which is taxable in India for RNOR. What are the two foreign incomes? First is business income. That means the business income is taxable if business is controlled from India. If a foreign business which is controlled from India, so for those business, they have to pay tax in India. And second is professional income. Taxable if profession is set up in India. If the profession is set up in India. Thank you very much.